Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In my today's video, I will discuss some important differentiation you should know used in Java. Okay, so let's move on to the discussion part. So the first thing we have is the difference between object and class. So what is the difference between object and class? This is one of the important difference. So it is a runtime identifiable entity with some specific characteristics and behaviors. So objects are basically created during runtime and it has a specific behavior or properties. Okay, whereas the class is the blueprint representing a set of objects that share some common characteristics and behavior. So basically the class is the collection of similar types of objects which share some common properties and characteristics or behaviors. Okay, now what are the examples? Mango, orange, apple, these are the examples of the objects from fruit class. So mango, orange, apple, these are separate objects. Okay, because we can identify mango, orange, apple separately with some behavior and properties, and all of this belongs to the fruit class. Okay, and fruit class is the example of class. So fruit is the example of the class, and mango, orange, apple, all of this belongs to this fruit class. So they are the object of the fruit class. Okay, now move on to the next one, that is difference between superclass and subclass. So what is the basic difference between superclass and subclass? Superclass is also called base class and subclass is also called derived class. So what is the definition? A class from which another class inherits is called base class or superclass. So basically superclass or base class is the parent class from which the properties are being inherited by other classes, and whereas the derived class or the subclass is which inherits properties from other classes is called derived class or the subclasses. So basically derived class or the subclass is the child who is inheriting the properties of the parent class from the base class or the superclass. Okay, now what are the examples? Automobile class is the base class of the car. So car belongs to automobile. So automobile, if automobile is the class, then car is the derived class or the subclass, and automobile is the base class. Car is the derived class of the automobile class. Okay, so this is how you can differentiate between base class and derived class or superclass and subclass. Now moving on to the next one, that is difference between variable and constant. So what is variable? The variable is the named memory location which holds a data value of a particular data type. So basically variables are the named memory location where we store the values of a variable. Okay, and whereas the constant represents a named value that remains fixed throughout an entire program. So variables values are changeable, but constant means the value of that constant is fixed for whole program. Okay, so you can see remains fixed throughout an entire program. Now coming to the next one, no keyword is used to declare a variable, where when we are declaring a variable we just mention the data type and then the name of the variable, but in case of constant we use the final keyword to declare the constant. And how we will declare the variable and the constant? To declare the variable we write like this: int a equals to 10. So a is the variable name here and it is integer type, and the value of the variable a is 10, which is assigned using the assignment operator. And in case of constant, it is declared like final int pi equals to 3.14. So pi is the variable here, the constant variable here, and the value of pi is fixed for throughout the program because we have used the final keyword here to fix the value of the pi. Okay, so this is how easily you can differentiate between variable and constants. Now moving on to the next one, that is the difference between private and public method. Okay, so what is the basic difference? It is accessible by any other classes anywhere. Okay, so public means accessible to all, whereas private means only accessible within the class. Even methods in subclasses in the same package do not have the access. So basically this means private means only accessible within the class where the member is declared. Even the subclasses are not allowed to access those methods. whereas the public method is accessible to all. Okay, not only all, even the subclasses are also allowed to access these methods. Okay, so this is the difference between public and private method. So now let's move on to the next one, that is difference between primitive data type and reference data type. So what is the basic difference? So in case of primitive data type, these are the basic data types provided by the language, that means the programming language, and are not based on any other data type. So primitive data types are the basic data types which are used and provided by the programming language itself. Okay. Now, whereas the reference data types are the derived data types that are created using the primitive data types. So basically, we will use primitive data types to create the reference data types. Okay. And what are the examples? In case of primitive data types, byte, short, int, long, float, double, etc. These are the examples of primitive data type. Whereas array, interface and classes are the example of reference data type. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one, that is difference between unary operator and binary operator. So what is the basic difference? So in case of unary operator, it operates only on one operand. You know, unary operator works on only one operand, whereas binary operator works on only two operands. Okay. So what are the examples? Example of unary operator is increment or decrement operator. An example of binary operator is arithmetic operator, relational operator, logical operator, etc. There are more. Okay, so this is the basic difference between unary operator and binary operator. So now let's move on to the next one, that is the difference between equals to and double equals to operator. So what is the basic difference? In case of equals to, it is an assignment operator. It is used to assign a value to a variable, whereas it is a relational operator. It states the relation between two variables. How it works? So in case of assignment operator, it is used to assign a value to a variable. Okay. And in case of double equals to, it is used to check two assigned values are equals or not. How it differs? See the example, how we use the assignment operator. Int a equals to 10. So here this equals to is used to assign the value 10 to the variable a, whereas double equals to works like this. Here we are assigning two values to different variables, like a equals to 10, that means 10 is assigned to variable a, and 20, b equals to 20 means 20 is assigned to variable b. Now we are checking if value of a and value of b is equal or not by writing this if a equals to b. So here equals to operator is checking or comparing if both the values are equal or not. Okay, so this is the basic difference between equals and double equals to. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one, that is the difference between plus and plus plus operator. So what is the basic difference? It is an arithmetic operator. Okay, and it is an increment operator. So purpose of this arithmetic operator, it is also called binary operator. Okay, and it is also called unary operator. Why? Because this works on two operand and whereas this works on one operand. Now it is used to add two numbers. So this is the purpose of this plus operator. It is used to add two different numbers, whereas it is used to increment the value of a number by 1. So here if we use plus plus operator, that means it will increment the value of one variable by 1, whereas the plus operator adds two different numbers. Now how to write it? See here the example, int a equals to 10 and b equals to 20, and we are writing int s equals to a plus b. So we are adding two different values using this addition operator or the plus operator. Whereas for plus plus we write int a equals to 5. So the value 5 is assigned to the variable a, and we are writing int s equals to a plus plus. That means the value of a will be incremented once. That means the value of a will be 6 now. So value of s will be assigned as 6. Okay. So this is the basic difference between plus and plus plus operator. So these are the some popular differences you should learn and you should remember. Okay, so I hope you have understood it well. So until then, stay tuned. Thank you everyone. Like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.